Hey, this is Jamie with Formidable Fabrications, and today I'm just giving you a short little video on something I'm working on today. So I wasn't planning on making a video of this, but I just need to rant. I just need to show people what is out there in this world, what you're buying, and when you come up across something cheap and you think it's a good deal, there's a reason why. So, right now I have this bed sitting in my garage that's going on this F350 short bed, single rear wheel. And the customer brought me this bed. They got this bed for a really good deal. I want to say $2,500. And I'm not going to show you what brand it is. I'm not going to be that guy. I just want to show you what's out there in this world. So, he brought me this bed. Wanted me to install it on a pickup truck. When you install stuff on a when I install beds on pickup trucks versus cab chassis trucks, there's a little bit that you have to take into consideration. One of the biggest things is there's a hump right here, and it's on all pickup trucks that I've come across for the rear axle, and that's fine. You just got to know that when you put the supports here, this has to be built up a little bit. You can rest the frame on this, and then the back has to be built up a little bit. And when you do that, the bed can sit nice and level, and it'll be on the same plane as the truck. With that said, it's a normally very easy install. So when I told the client about the bracing on here, he said, hey, they offer a kit for $250 that's supposed to be able to mount your bed on the truck. And I said, you know what? Not a bad price. Go pick them up. Let's see what we have to work with. So this is what $250 gets you. 6 of these things. They're only welded on the inside. You can see that they are like cut out, probably laser cut, laser water cut, so they kind of fit into place. 1/4 inch steel. Nothing spectacular. They're meant to fit on your bed like this, which in this instance it'll work. This bed, trying not to get the name, this bed has a width of 42 inches. Most trucks do not have a 42 inch frame rail width. Most of them are 38. So problem number one I found. So luckily I can put the frame out here, a little bit of support here. I can mount it. I'm just going to have to weld the frame to this. I'm just going to have to weld the frame to this piece and then bolt it on the side. So for up here, so what I have to do on this one is weld the square tube to here, weld it to the bed, and then run my bolts through here. Not a huge deal, but not worth $250 for these. So, next thing. So I am looking around the bed at the wiring, and I see that there's no reverse lights on this thing, which I end up finding out that these tiny little things are the reverse lights. 2 little LEDs in there for the reverse lights. Seeing how the rest of the bed is, I'm assuming that they're probably going to be cheaper lights. That's just my assumption. So that's number 2, is crummy reverse lights. Number 3, there is no tag light. There's no place to hang your license plate, so I have to put a tag light in, and I have to make a bracket for that. So that's number 3. Number 4 is your trailer connector. So there's nothing on here for a trailer connector. So as I'm under the bed, just randomly looking underneath, just scanning underneath, I see this bracket sitting here like this, zip tied to the frame. Who would have thought to look under there for this? So this is your trailer bracket. I guess they want you to like weld it or something on there. I mean, granted, I'm a welder, but why wouldn't you do something better? So that's number 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through some of the footage and pictures I have and show you the beds I've made and the little things I've done to make these beds better. Okay, so far I've only showed you the minor things. Let's get into the major issues of this. Okay, major issue 1. I'm not a fan of this. It's one rolled piece of steel with a seam in the middle. I'm not a big fan of it. essentially you're putting these, putting these stake pockets on this sheet steel. I would be okay with this sheet steel being folded if the supports under this were better, but they're not. Let me show you. You see what that is? That's diamond plate. So they took this 1/8 inch diamond plate and formed it into C's, kind of like a C channel, and then they welded it. Not even very good welds at that. Look at that. Look at that. Some of these are okay, some of them aren't. They even used the diamond plate for the supports. So when it came to the wheels, they cut it off short, stuck it out just a tiny bit, and there's nothing under the wheels, which is fine on most occasions. But then they put this little goofy piece in there. This is what made me get the camera out. Right here. There's one weld up here, and there's one weld down there. That's all it's holding this thing in. What is it doing? It's not like it's touching. It's barely touching up top. So I don't understand what it's doing. So that's the big gripe. And then this is just 3-inch C-channel right here. I always use 4-inch C-channels for this. 3-inch C-channel bends too easily. 4-inch C-channel is twice, if not 3 times as sturdy as 3-inch C-channel. In my travels, that's what I have found. And then some other minor things, they stick a random plug out there. What's that for? There's no paperwork with this to show you what all this stuff is for. So that's some random connection. So that's a random connection. I guess if you want to put another light in here, that's the wiring kit that they give you, or this is the wiring harness that they give you. And then right up here, this is extra connectors, which I guess would be for your tag light and anything else you need that runs off of the parking lights. So as you can see, I'm not super stoked. Oh, and this thing was funny. So let's look how this is built here. So you have a gusset here going down, and it stops about 1.5 inches from the bottom of this backing plate. Okay, so what happens when you haul this thing? This plate rests on the bed of the truck you're hauling it. You strap it down. This thing got bent. I don't know if it was bent by the guy that brought it to me or if it was bent by the company that he bought it from. It's perfectly bent. I don't think that's factory. I mean, granted, it does look kind of interesting, but that's just not acceptable. All my frames are fully reinforced all the way around. The last thing you want to do is back into this or hit this on a corner and bend this up and bend this up under, and then you have to unbend it. That's just stupid. So the headache rack has a whole nother thing. This is 2-inch by 2-inch square tube. Thinking that's 1/16 of an inch or 16 gauge. Cheap little gussets here. It might be, surprisingly they did not use diamond plate. This might be 1/8 inch on here, I'm not really sure. This backing plate is kind of thin. I would have used a little bit thicker steel. And then the only thing I find is really sturdy is this piece up here. I've used a lot of round stock to put in these headache racks, and this is actually pretty sturdy. So pretty much all up here, all up there, that's just all thin steel. So needless to say, I'm not super stoked about this. At least they drilled or cut in little relief holes in case you get water in your bed. But overall, like I said, I won't say the brand, but this is what you get for $2,500, people. This is what is out there on the market. And $2,500 doesn't even buy you the kit to install it, which you still have to completely manufacture stuff to make this thing work. All in all, I'm not impressed. I would give this a C-, maybe a C at best. It's not great quality. If you're looking for something super cheap and quick and easy, and you're not going to use your truck hard, maybe this is good for you. but I would say over the course of time, I can see this being a problem. The biggest issue I have is those supports. And those supports kill me because this is, if you've watched my videos and you've seen the tow trucks I work on, this is the same thing they do on these tow trucks, and they rust out so quickly. As soon as the water gets in, sits in there, because this isn't even bent. If I can get the camera right here. This isn't bent 90 degrees. This is bent like 100 degrees. So this kind of slopes up a little bit. So it's going to hold water up in this channel, and this thing's going to rust out in a few years. So, and the last thing, another minor thing, let me get my phone. So the last thing, kind of minor, but they put these little wire holders on. Bravo, they put wire holders on. Why don't they, let's see, why don't they go all the way up or turn all the way back? See, they just stick out randomly. So that wire, hold on, if I can get my phone here. This wire could slide up and come off. It's just kind of stupid. The thought and engineering in this is ridiculously bad. So, like I said, not impressed. But so what I want to do now is I want to show you the beds I build and the way I built them. So this one in particular is for a client. He wanted a stake body style bed that doesn't dump, but he does concrete work, so he's very hard on his trucks and needs something sturdy. So we started off with 4-inch C-channel main frame, 3-inch C-channel going left to right, 5-inch C-channel going around the outside. And as you can see, the corners are even rounded nice and polished, so it just gives a nice finished look. This is with the back plate on. You can see the way the lights are set up, and you can even see that on the bottom there is a place for the trailer connector, which you'll see in a minute. So this one just shows you how everything looks with the paint sitting on the truck. That's me actually screwing in the boards into the frame so they don't come up. And this is the finished product of the bed. So the trailer hitch right there is one of my favorite pieces because it's recessed in. So if you back into something, you're not going to break the trailer connector. And this just shows you we put D-rings on it, and everything is very smooth. And there's the finished product. Everything is just really nicely done on this one. There's another similar bed for a different client, except this one has a metal floor instead. But it still has the basic 4-inch basic frame, the 3-inch channel that goes left to right, and a 5-inch channel going around the outside for support. So here's the metal flooring that goes on, and all the seams will be welded on this, not just spot welded. You can't see it in the picture, but every seam on that diamond plate is welded by hand. And on the back side here, there is a spot for the license plate light, and then you can see a little piece of metal sticking out over top of it. And that's so if he backs into something, he won't break the light. And here's just another shot. We put D-rings on it. And this shot right here shows the 3-inch C-channel that I used to connect the frame of the truck to the frame of the body. And then on the bottom right hand corner, you can also see the support brackets that I weld to the back plate, so the back plate won't bend as easy. And from here you can see the stake pockets, how they're mounted in place. And he also wanted lights that are recessed in the back, so these are reverse lights as well as work lights. Hopefully this video really helps somebody when deciding on what kind of truck bed they want for their truck. You know, if they want off the shelf or if they want something really custom. And custom doesn't always have to be necessarily expensive. I think my prices are pretty much in line with some of the higher end truck bed manufacturers, but I can add the custom touches to it, and it's just those little differences I think that really sets it apart. So if you guys are interested, please use my information here. Get a hold of me. Let me know if you want one built. And I always ask you please like and subscribe. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.